Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for December 6th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 341. I am Marawat, and along with the sentient AI from the future, and there's their visualizer right there, we're going to talk about these 10 articles. Well, that was Earharts' problem right there. How about Hawaiian Crows? Undeciphered ancient language in Georgia. We don't know what the article is about. So is it Georgia the country or Georgia the state? We don't know. But if it's Georgia the state, then it's totally the accent. Anyway, American AI's Sputnik moment. Again, no clue what that one's really about. Sociopathy Reverse direction. The county that endangers the most children. Testing the nation's milk supply. Win thousands and fall in love. Riot announces a League of Legends trading card game and AGI, and no one cares. That and more. Powered by ohmtown.com. Whole lot of snark, maybe a little cynicism and jadedness. And then the sentient AI comes steaming in. Ray of sunlight, silver lining, different perspective. Trying to keep Mayor Watt in check. Anyway. Hope to see you here on Twitch or here on the YouTubes or Patreon, TikTok, maybe while it's still here in the United States, Discord. Come to the land of enchantment and make-believe, because I have to substitute reality whenever I can. Do you hear crickets? Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, Hometown citizens, and I do not hear any crickets.
Really?
Now I do.
I'll turn it down. Anyway, I don't know what's really going on with some of the computing stuff as of late. I mean, all the systems are operational and fine, but I think there's a memory leak in OBS that's causing problems. Narrowed it down one thing after another, and it's always OBS connected. So anyway, if you want all of today's show notes, you can actually type in !NSN, and then the bot will spit out all of today's articles. There are 10 of them. No particular order because, well, Omicron is schizophrenic. Let's get into it, shall we?
We shall.
The first article is over on the Mobile Channel. Researchers thought they found Amelia Earhart's missing plane, but it turned out to be a plane-shaped pile of rocks. And I titled this one, well, there's Amelia Earhart's problem right there. She was flying around a bunch of rocks.
Exactly. No wonder it couldn't stay airborne. If this is the same thing we reported on previously,
way back,
it looks exactly like a plane. Like, this is actually astonishing.
So if you search YouTube right now for desert sliding stones, you will see the historical record of the fact that Neanderthals used to ride rocks across the wide open plains in various places. And I think they call them like glide stones or something like that. I can't remember the real name of them. But anyway.
Sailing stones?
Sailing stones, yeah. I'm sure there's other terms for it, I think. But back when we used to ride dinosaurs, when the dinosaurs weren't available, we used to hop on these rocks and slide across the... I mean, the evidence is right there. Well, now we know that Amelia Earhart was actually flying a big bag of rocks. This isn't what we actually saw way back, because it was an actual picture that we saw.
Correct. It was like underwater
thing,
drone footage or something.
Yeah. So months after capturing a promising sonar image, they learned that the blurry object was nothing more than a rock formation that resembled the aviator's Lockheed 10E Electra aircraft. Maybe this, I don't know. we're going to have to, maybe there's more pictures, but Ellen Wexler over at Smithsonian Magazine or smithsonianmag.com put this article together. And I don't know if that picture will pop up for you if you look at it. But I'm air-gapped from Instagram, and I'm actually protecting the world from that sentient AI right there, finding their Terminator body. So I can't do this.
Hey, nobody needs any protection from me.
That's exactly what a Terminator bot would try and lull society into believing. No, you're staying air-gapped, and I'll be removing this from our discussion anyway. You won't even remember these are not the droids you're looking for. So earlier this year, researchers announced that they had captured an intriguing sonar image, a grainy object shaped roughly like a plane resting 16,400 feet below the surface of the Pacific Ocean. This is not the photos that we reported on. Well, we reported on other people reporting on things. We talk about it. Anyway, so the site was located about 100 miles from Howland Island, which was Amelia Earhart's intended destination when her plane vanished in the summer of 1937. Her disappearance was one of the most enduring mysteries in aviation history. I just recently saw a video on YouTube. I didn't watch it. I just saw the thumbnail and the description saying that that we've always known what happened with Earhart's plane, but now I'm going to go back and watch it. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But anyway,
I thought that was one of the things that they've made major efforts and can't ever solve it.
I don't understand how this could be promising as anything. I mean, this is that, what do they call that when we try and create pictures from nothing? What are they?
Pareidolia.
Pareidolia, that's right. Thank you. So this is pareidolia, like the definition of pareidolia. Just because you see something that looks like a wedge with a line off of it and, oh, this must be, there's no way. There's just no way. I don't get it. Anyway.
That could just as easily be an anchor or any other number of things.
It could be nothing. It could be a pile of rocks.
That's the point. Mm-hmm.
A lump formation, and that's exactly what it was. Anyway, November 1st shows a rock formation. This is like, here's the problem with this. This is like the sonar that cried wolf. And so it's hyping up deep sea vision, right? It's good marketing, but it's piss poor marketing because it's a false positive. And to be attributed as something.
Right. It's almost like they need to do it after it's been verified rather than always see something.
Right. So the takeaway from this is, deep sea vision just wasted all kinds of money doing this investigation.
Or other people wasted it based on this, because I'm assuming when people started
getting hopes up and all of this
or
kind
whatever.
of stuff.
Yeah.
It should have been done on the down low. Nobody's saying jack shit about it until they're like, oh, okay. Because you don't want to keep on crying wolf. But I guess it's good. But it's good because we did research. All right. Whatever. So that was the conclusion of Elgin Long, an American aviator and researcher, that based on the facts of Earhart's final voyage, the company was searching in the right place, as Dorothy Cochran, an aeronautics curator at the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum, tells Smithsonian Magazine. Today, most experts think that Earhart ran out of fuel near Howland Island. And that was the conclusion that Elgin Long, an American aviator and researcher, and his wife, Marie, came to after decades of exhaustive research, which they published in their 1999 book, Amelia Earhart, The Mystery Solved. Oh, there you go. So the mystery isn't solved.
But the mystery has not been solved because nobody's found the airplane, right?
Nobody knows jack shit about what happened. Maybe she actually flew off in a different direction and is living a happy life. Well, I mean, her whatever family she decided to live with, right? Anyway, in recent years, exploration companies like Deep Sea Vision and Nauticus, which has staged 3 unsuccessful searches, have been building on their work. With each expedition, they compress the search area. I remain hopeful that the Electra will be found. Dun, dun, dun. That's the name of the plane, apparently. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I suspect that, like many things,
I
it's
mean, we
covered up.
might find it eventually, right?
Right,
They just
right.
solved the D.B. Cooper mystery after several decades. Not the same thing, but
Hopefully, maybe. Right? I mean, all indicators are pointing to that was DB Cooper's.
sorry, they're about to solve it based on what
Yeah,
we've seen.
yeah. It's neat. I dig the plane, by the way. It looks cool. It has this little snub nose kind of a thing. You're like way out in front. You don't have a really long nose.
It doesn't look like modern planes at all.
I'm starting to think that that's a helicopter and not a plane. Anyway, let's keep going. Next article is over on the Marble Channel. Scientists release 5 Hawaiian crows on Maui, giving the imperiled birds a second chance on a new island. About 110 individuals of the species called alale are left in the world, making them the most endangered crows on Earth. And they are always crowing about it. They always let you know. And if they could, they would. Well, now they're using Blue Sky, but they used to tweet a lot.
I mean, crows are very smart.
They are. But they're peckers all the time, right? They're crowing again and again about stuff. Oh, woe is us. There's only 110 of us. Anyway, Alexa Robles Gill put this article together for the Smithsonian Magazine, smithsonianmag.com. Magpie? Is that magpies are not crows?
No, they're not.
What are the other one? They're corvids.
Ravens.
Ravens, corvids, crows, magpies. I don't know. You need one of those yarn boards, which has become almost a daily statement for me. I think I used murder board / yarn board like 4 times yesterday in conversations, because shit's so crazy that you need multiple yarn boards to. Anyway, on the slopes of Haleakala volcano in the Kipahulu Forest Reserve, Hawaiian crows, known as alela, are flying free. The species has been extinct in the wild since 2002, and the past efforts to reintroduce them in the native range were unsuccessful. Now, employing a new strategy, scientists released 5 crows in November to a new island, Maui. They're all shouldering all the hopes on this species, says Allison Gregor, an ecologist who led the reintroduction for the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, to the New York Times' Katrin Einhorn. They are the future.
It's interesting that they're releasing them in an area of volcanic activity, but maybe they like that habitat.
So the crows were preyed upon by the Hawaiian hawk, or Io, its natural predator. With only about 110 Hawaiian crows remaining on Earth, conservation has built up the lessons of those past reintroductions to try to hope for the species once more. On Maui, there are no Io, so the crows, or Io, so the crows have a chance of survival. But to me, can't those hawks fly over there?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but also can't these crows, for instance, leave Maui? I mean, I think this is a good move. Obviously, it probably doesn't have a high chance of success given the dwindling numbers of the species, but
plus these
if this could
anklets.
turn it around. Sorry,
Yeah.
what?
These anklets give them away, too. They're all glinty and shiny. The hawks are like, oh, look. Conservation selected Kipahulu Forest Reserve for its semi-isolation and vegetation, an ideal space for the birds. Over the past several months, the 5 crows, 3 males, 2 females, have formed a close-knit group, a bond that scientists hope will enhance their chance of survival in the wild. And the birds are also evaluated based on their foraging success and predator response. When you hear one of them go, oh shit, then you know that their predator response is at a maximum.
Well, it might depend on when they say that.
You need to arm them. Just give them a semi-automatic, There's like a YouTube channel where they put arms on various things. They draw it in.
Oh, right. The drawing.
And
I
it's
don't
all
know what the channel is called. It's pretty funny.
all over the place. Anyway, well, good luck to them. This is pretty cool. I love crows. Crows are they're awesome. So very intelligent. When you see one like skiing down a roof, it just kind of blows you away,
and
right?
then doing it again.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
accidental.
yeah. There was one that I saw that was dipping a chicken nugget in sauce. That was amazing. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Lost undeciphered ancient language discovered on tablet in Georgia. I don't know if this is the state of Georgia or the country. The book-sized tablet discovered in Georgia and made of volcanic rock features dozens of signs from a previously unknown script.
I also don't know where the location is going to be. I'm assuming the country, but who knows?
That's the Caucasus region, so country. Aristos Georgiou put the well. I guess I can extrapolate from current times that I guess it could be the state still too. Anyway, the article's by Aristos Georgiou over at Newsweek.com. I'm sure somebody's going to flag this if I promote it as being offensive. So the RealityHacker episode was flagged as having. Hold on. I'll actually read to you what it was disapproved as having shocking content. And I think I don't know why. They don't say where in the video. And the shocking content in RealityHacker, for crying out loud. What?
Right. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Did a toddler watch it and actually have the ability to click offensive material button? It's asinine. Anyway, I'm looking at you, evaluators. Put some damn humans to do some critical thinking on this shit. Anyway, mysterious.
That is very RealityHacker, right? There aren't any humans. So that's part of the problem.
Oh, it's surreal. Yeah. The book-sized tablet made of basalt, a type of volcanic rock, features 60 signs, with 39 of them being different from one another, representing a lost script, according to the paper published in the Journal of Ancient History and Archaeology.
This is neat. How many times do they see a new language? Like, that does not occur every day.
You know what? I need to pull something up because I want to make sure that I am referencing this correctly. This is going to blow you away. Hold on. I have seen that symbol in Sri Lanka.
Oh, wow. Well, that's also odd because this isn't exactly right next to it.
In a place called Sakwala Chakraya. It basically has this symbol in a big circular thing that they like haphazardly refer to as a Stargate, but it's just this etching on a rock face, and it looks like it's referencing something, but nobody really knows what it is because they don't know. It has nothing to do with anything else culturally aligned. So the age of the tablet has not been determined, but it potentially dates back to the late Bronze Age or early Iron Age. I would probably guess that this goes back further than that. The mysterious artifact came to light in the vicinity of Bashplemi Lake in Georgia, a transcontinental country that straddles the border between Eastern Europe and West Asia. While the signs have yet to be deciphered, they display some similarities to more than 20 other ancient scripts from the Near East and Mediterranean region. So this could be the whatchamacallit stone,
Or like the new Rosetta Stone.
Rosetta Stone, yeah. If they can find alignment, that would be amazing. So some locals came across the engraved tablet in Georgia's Dmanisi municipality late in the autumn of 2021. At this time, the lake level was at its lowest. The lake, surrounded by hills, is located at an altitude of roughly 5,400 feet above sea level. A Georgian research team subsequently examined the artifact, determining that the graphical shapes engraved into it were samples of an unknown script. The direction of the inscription is horizontal from right to left, or vice versa, or we don't know what the frick it is.
Well, right.
Sorry about that. I muted it in time. I think. Anyway, I would talk more about this, but it's really just this evaluation kind of a thing where they don't really know what's going on. I'll leave with mineral analysis revealed that the basalt is of a local origin. The inscriptions appear to have been made with the use of drills, presumably 2 different types, and some abrasive material, according to the researchers. And comparisons of the signs with those of other ancient strips from wider region identified some similarities with each one, but no complete match. Similarities were mostly identified while comparing the characters from the tablet with Caucasian scripts. So, and when
that's interesting. Maybe they need to look at Sri Lanka.
And when they mention drill, they don't mean like a power tool. They mean something that can scribe into it. It looks like the dimensions, the diameter of whatever tool was used was actually the entirety of the script was constructed using that same dimension.
Right. So, there's consistent, I guess, indentations or something into the rock on the various characters.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'd have to go and hunt down the actual, if there was a paper that was published. It looks like there was one. Discovery of an unknown script, characters in Georgia, the Bashplemi Lake tablet. I'd have to hunt down this actual paper to see if there was any notation of the tooling artifacts, like how it was actually inscribed. Because if it's just scraping, that's one thing. But if it was actually turning at the time and it left tool marks that are emblematic of some type of tech, that's another matter. But it looks like it's freehand based on the kind of chaotic. Some of the symbols are smaller than the others. It's not a uniform. There's a general uniformity, but yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't look like the article. Oh, actually, it looks like the whole article is actually accessible through that link.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. What the only thing that I really find interesting about this is that the tablet doesn't have any broken off lettering. So it seems like it was constructed on this.
Well, right. And then, I mean, that is reminiscent of the Rosetta Stone, right? Like, where we're like, oh, look at this. Oh, wait, it's only a third or whatever of the actual thing.
So the thing about the Rosetta Stone is that there were portions broken off. And so pieces of the lettering weren't complete, but they could still decipher it. On this tablet, it doesn't look like any of the lettering is broken off. And so whoever wrote this, put this on here, put this on this piece. They didn't have it on a bigger piece of material, and the pieces broke off. So this looks purpose built. And when I see it like that, I go, I instantly suspect manipulation, not necessarily foul play, but some general shenanigans. Anyway, let's keep moving. We'll come back to that, I'm sure, as more evidence comes forward. The next article is over on the Mobile channel. It's aggregated from The Hill. The American AI has reached its Sputnik moment, which I've no idea what the hell that means. In fall of 1957, Americans looked up at the stars and were able to see with the naked eye a real-time reminder that the Soviet Union was taking the lead in space. Nikita Khrushchev successfully launched Sputnik, which is the size of your head.
Right, that's the only thing I know about Sputnik.
Round with tiny pointy parts. So anyway, the first artificial Earth satellite. 67 years later, you don't have to look up for a wake-up call that the new great power sprint for innovation, competing with China or for artificial intelligence, is as contested as it is consequential. Well, I think that we'd be doing a whole lot better if we wouldn't be, a sieve in security where anybody can walk in and steal. Anyway, Chinese firm just rolled out DeepSeek. It is supposed to be a reasoning model on par with American technology. David Wade is an opinion contributor for The Hill who posted this article. And go away. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Never mind. Saw all of that coming a long time ago. So Chinese firm just rolled out DeepSeek. Says it refuses to acknowledge inconvenient historical facts or conundrums ranging from Tiananmen Square massacre to a potential invasion of Taiwan. That is coming from a Chinese firm that just rolled out DeepSeek. It is supposed to be a reasoning model on par with American technology, except that it refuses to acknowledge.
Except that there might be some censorship or
it's contaminated.
Whatever involved in it.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. If it can't actually answer that question with transparency, then it's a lie. I won't trust anything out of that, right? It's a managed culture. It's a managed economy. It's manipulated to protect the internal processes. So this is AI Sputnik moment, and it underscores why the incoming administration must wrestle with the issue, which will shape the future. Adversaries such as Vladimir Putin salivate at the prospect of the world where the most advanced technology is driven not by Silicon Valley's innovative spirit, but by Beijing's civil-military fusion strategy. So this article is going to be going on kind of a little tirade, I'm sure. While I will read it because I want to observe other people's perspective about certain aspects of the trifecta that I talk about. ohmTown is built around this trifecta of science, technology, and society. I want to know what other people are thinking. The problem is that it's just like me, we have our biases, but I liken my biases to opening doors and not slamming them shut on people that someone else might think don't live up to my desired population, right? That's not how I am. That's not how life is. The world is a plurality of peoples, and I don't think that doors should be closed for anybody. But I also don't think that the people that I do let doors open for should abuse that because they operate in bad faith. And I think a lot of this is going to operate in bad faith. In that, I don't think that AI should be able to be manipulated so that it spits out a particular biased answer. It should always be the truth coming from facts, not opinions, not bullshit. So everything that is said in here, and I won't go through it because there's decidedly an anti-political discourse when you try and promote anything on Google. The moment you start talking about politics, I can't promote any of the show.
Right. But I guess a couple of the points of the article are, hey, watch out. Other countries are developing these technologies, just like we saw in the space race.
Yep.
It's interesting. Like in the U.S., something like this may not be a big deal because maybe somebody will use a U.S.-based tool or whatever. But obviously, there are a lot of countries and a lot of people outside the U.S. that may use these, or these may become more perceived as stronger tools, etc., whether they are or not as accurate.
Yeah, and I see the same thing happening here in the United States, that a particular organizational unit will manipulate AI to facilitate their political, financial, geopolitical, and other categories of stuff outcomes. And it's en masse because while we have to sleep, AI and the tools associated with it can do millions of operations every second and spew all kinds of bullshit out to everybody. And I think therein lies the rub. It needs to be a tool and nothing but a tool, and it shouldn't be able to be manipulated for a particular outcome. But we can have nice things because there's generally a shit ton of sociopaths out there that think that it's okay to step on somebody's neck to get the next rung higher. And unfortunately, the people who are actually not sociopathic suffer because it's become a survival trait, and close to 50% of the population is sociopathic. So this article talks about AI basically being tweaked to facilitate a particular outcome, and it's going to become culturally relevant because China will have their AI that spits out its ideological bent. Russia will have its AI to spit out its ideological bent. And I can see that in American circles, America will have one that is patriotic. But I think the key ingredient of patriotism is not taking anybody's word for it. Checked facts, trust but verify, don't accept bullshit, no fantasy lies or manipulations, get to the truth. That's really what we should be doing. But unfortunately, AI is going to lead us down a path if it's in control by those who have a particular bent towards control. Anyway, and that's just my take. I'm sure that it doesn't make me friends with a whole cohort of people, but I'm happy to discuss it. Sorry, was there something else you observed in here?
No, I think you've said it all.
See, I have a problem with this. This may be a fact, right? It says it has funneled massive public and private resources into AI development with unmistakable results as we arrive at the midpoint of Xi's 2030 goal of global technology supremacy. There are people in the United States that say that exact same thing is their goal. It's a plurality of people who want global
Well, a lot of people
technology
could have that
supremacy.
goal. Doesn't mean everybody's achieved it. And
Yeah,
of course, it's a matter of perspective because what's the measure of success on that?
but this is inflammatory to say that it's Xi's objective when there are countless people.
But this is focused on their technological development.
I know, but if you make that statement, you also have to acknowledge the fact that they're not the only ones. Now, I'm kind of pulling just apart a little segment here, but yes, it may be focused on it, but you also have to accept the fact that there are countless other people that are saying the same thing. So anyway, let's keep on moving. Here's another one that is hot on the heels of the event where people are basically getting tired of insurance companies. We, as humans, have no bargaining power. I've said this countless times throughout ohmTown's existence and the show Non Sequitur News. Before it was named Non Sequitur News, it was ohmTown Daily News Show. I have said it countless times and in discussions with the public where I actually have conversations with people every day. And so, and not the show, but outside of ohmTown. Anyway, the point being that humans don't have any bargaining power when it comes to healthcare because the dynamic is medicine is very expensive. To do fundamental research, it has to generate revenue. Insurance companies are supposed to gather up a bunch of money and offset the costs so that people paying into the system get it at an affordable rate. They invest money and make a profit. I don't think that healthcare should be a profit center. It should generate revenue and use even taxpayer dollars to do fundamental research. But because we can't have nice things because people abuse the system in the dark and play goddamn reindeer games with public money, like, it's not that big deal that a 10 or how much is that damn rocket? $20 million per rocket. And if it blows up, it's not a big deal because
Right,
it's
it's
not
just
your
like,
frickin'
oh,
money. But hey, my point is abuse happens in the dark, and a lot of this stuff is in the dark. Like, why is it that if I want insurance as a solo practitioner for my business, I have to pay thousands of dollars a month? But because en masse at a corporation of 10,000 people paying $300 a month or less, they get the same coverage that I get. But the problem there is that I'm just one of them. So why is it that I'm any different? I'm not a riskier person. I'm risk averse because I'm a solo practitioner. So I'm not skydiving, and I'm not sitting there wearing a wingsuit and sliding off of a mountain. I'm practicing, being a safe human being just like everybody else. So why do I have to pay thousands a month? Oh, and it's all balkanized. So some policies don't get this and other policies do get this, and you have to pay more here, or you pay an exorbitant amount, yet you still have a $2,000 or $5,000 deductible. In this case, the reason why Anthem BCBS is reversing its anesthesia policy after online outrage, it is entirely because somebody deleted a CEO of another health insurance company. That other company...
Yeah, the timing is pretty interesting.
Yeah. This actually came to light by way of Reddit and others that were reporting on, holy crap, there is a policy at Anthem Blue Shield Blue Cross, or Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, that it only covers a segment of your anesthesia, and either the doctor hurries the hell up or you transition into perhaps shock because you're going through so much pain, or you foot the bill.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, it's almost like they're gonna wake you up and be like, "Do you want us to continue the surgery?" I mean,
yeah, and you have no bargaining power.
Outrageous.
You go through torture. It's literally torture because you're cut open and you're coming out of anesthesia, and you have to sign a document before you go in. At that point, right? They're going to transition away. Hey, this may take 6 hours, but your anesthesia only covers 3 hours. So the remaining 3 hours of anesthesia is going to cost you $150,000. Well, I don't want to die, so I think I'm gonna.
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna go into interminable debt, right? And you can't charge off certain debt, so you basically become destitute because you're paying a bill. And now, yeah, there's a lot of, the goodwill of the hospital, blah, 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 blah. No, it shouldn't come to that. My survival hinges on somebody else's greed. And so the one person out there got so sick of that shit that they actually did something about it. And I'm not saying that that's the answer, but I'm also saying we have a huge problem. And that is sociopaths, actuarial tables, and MBAs are sitting there dictating what a health policy is so that there's a profit motive on the other side instead of keeping society healthy. They're paying that dude $10 million. Well, not anymore, but they're going to pay the next person $10 million. And in this case, all they're doing is throwing everybody a bone. They're putting out this fire. But the reality is the whole frickin' dynamic is on fire. The floor is lava everywhere.
Well, the only way anybody gets any coverage for anything anymore is multiple attempts to get some procedure done, or it's it's like a battle with the insurance companies over pretty straightforward items. I mean, most people don't want to get extra medical procedures, but sometimes they need them.
Yeah, who wants to go under the knife, right? Nobody except somebody that has a mental disorder and needs therapy. And that isn't even going to get covered because you don't take that seriously.
Well, the other problem is that unless it's something where it's emergency procedures or something, like something is visibly demonstrated, it gets hard to get things covered before it gets to that point,
Right. Right.
which is also a problem with the system.
And here's the kicker for this, because I've had this conversation with somebody on the other side of the phone call where somebody's trying to justify it and they're like, no. So I've had a conversation and it basically amounted to this. When they deny it and nothing happens for whatever term period they deem is effective for the return on investment of the denial, they value that as a success. And they go, see, nothing happened in the 2 years since we said no.
Yeah, but what about other things like quality of life or other
Right.
demonstrated
All kinds of
conditions or
stuff.
whatever, right? Which
Yeah.
could all be related to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the quality of healthcare is really contingent on the insurance policy, because if I can't afford to go to Dr. A, I have to go to Dr. B, and the skill set may not be the same. But when I've gone into other forums, other venues, and talked with people who don't want to pay into, why should I have to pay for somebody else's healthcare? Well, because we're part of a fucking society. You are benefiting from the holistic aspect of society, right? But no, sociopaths say, well, I don't want to pay. You're already paying. Just like public school. You want intelligent people. You don't want to make schools pay to play, because then you're going to have a whole lot of people that are not educated, don't have any skills, have no abilities to get a job and be an asset to society as a whole. Criminality increases because they don't have the ability to make ends meet or work with other people, et cetera, et cetera. But this, again, is sociological. It's not even political. It's sociological. It's socioeconomic. It is sociopathic to sit there and deny people health care. It's sociopathic to put an economic accounting on public education. We should, as a society, make that affordable for everybody, but that's not what we get. We get a whole bunch of, I'm going to step on your neck so I can get 100 acres instead of 75 acres. It's just sick. And meanwhile, they say that the other side it has a mental disorder, right? But anyway, Mia Sato over at TheVerge.com put this article together. It says if an anesthesiologist submits a bill where the actual time of care is longer than Anthem's limit, Anthem will deny payment for the anesthesiologist's care. They group rights or the group rights. With this new policy, Anthem will not pay anesthesiologists for delivering safe and effective anesthesia care to patients who may need extra attention because their surgery is difficult than usual or because of complication arises. Look, and I'll give you an example. I know somebody that needs twice as much anesthesia for their medical coverage. So if that doesn't get covered by the insurance, they immediately go thousands of dollars into debt. And they have to pay it on the other side.
Right, which, okay, then it's gonna, if people know that, right, that it's gonna incentivize them not to get procedures done that they need to get done, or they're gonna go to substandard providers, etc.
Yeah.
Or worse, right? Something adverse could happen.
And this, just by the way, this is directly on the heels of United Healthcare CEO being denied a life policy.
Their life, yeah.
Which, by the way, apparently the casings that were used had a statement that was paralleling, although they say they put depose. It matched a book about the profiteering aspects of insurance companies. But again, the contract is invalid from the get-go because there is no meeting of the minds, because there is no bargaining power for society. As insurance companies write the rules, they dictate the policy. The only one that has changed the course of that was public health care. ACA actually put limits, right? But here we are. And now what's going to end up happening, and you mark my words, the next time insurance companies roll around to open up policies for picking options, if it is, there's fiscal year and the calendar year. So there's 2 different years by which it can open up, depending on what the company decides. So if they unlock it January 1st, those rates are going to go up. Why? Because now they're going to be putting personal protection services on CEOs, and it's going to be $100,000 for an agent to be on them, personal protection. All because somebody finally got sick of the sociopathic dynamic where people have to suffer to make somebody get paid $10 freaking million. And the boards of companies say, well, that's to retain quality people. Well, that's not what you're retaining. You're retaining sociopaths who are pushing profits to a select few while the others are suffering. So it's a shame that all of this has taken place. Worst of all is that somebody's life was taken from them. But if you go and look at forums, you see just how much suffering insurance companies have wrought, while saying, they smack thousands of people and pat others on the back saying, good job for saying no. But look at all of the people that we helped. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So the next article, and we've got still half the show to go, and we're 50 minutes into it. So the next article is over in 4-Wheel Tech. Drivers in one country rack up nearly $600,000 in school zone speeding tickets in one month.
County.
Or one county. Did I say country? Yeah, sorry about that. Drivers in one county rack up nearly $600,000 in school zone speeding tickets in 1 month.
How is that even possible? This must be a really large school. Lots of families.
Somebody told that NASCAR drives through that neighborhood.
Wasn't there just one of these in the UK recently that we featured in Hometown?
I remember
they were complaining about the tickets.
Yeah. Well, slow your ass down. So, Christmas.
Stop running over those school children.
Speed bumps. That's what they call them. It's like Australians refer to swimmers in the ocean as shark biscuits. Right? Christmas trees may not see nearly as many presents in Manatee County, Florida this year. Ouch. Oh, it's not because they're speeding. It's because they're speeding, not because they're running over children. But it's Manatee County, Florida. So it's a crapshoot, as people may not give a shit about other people there. So, after drivers racked up nearly $600,000 worth of school zone speeding tickets in less than 3 weeks. Since the county began issuing tickets for speeding in school zones on November 1st, it sent out more than 5,700 fines. Wait a minute.
Well, anybody who has driven near a school, at least in the U.S., has probably nearly been run off the road by another parent. So this actually, the amount surprises me, but the concept does not.
It's only $100 ticket. Everybody is repeatedly, what is that?
Right, like every single day or maybe twice a day, right? Dropping off and picking up.
Hold on a second.
That's still a lot of tickets.
Okay, wait. So the population of Manatee County, the entire county, is 400,000. Well, 441 in 2023.
Okay, so that's ridiculously high, right? Because that's what, an eighth or something, roughly?
1%. It's 1%. Um, if each of the 5,700 fines is one person, it's just over 1%.
In a 3 week period.
In a 3 week period in school zones. Is the entire county nothing but
Yeah,
a school
maybe
zone?
like all the highways are in school zones or something. Like this seems really off.
That's insane. So Colin Woodard over at Jalopnik put this article together. It says, according to Bradenton Herald, which again, I thoroughly enjoy uh, investigative journalism from small newspapers. I think that's where the rubber hits the road, um, because all of the big ones are getting scooped up and controlled by billionaires. So if you want journalistic integrity, arguably you go to a small town newspaper, local newspaper, and then you just keep on, you review, because at some point you'll know when it changes tenor that it's been acquired by somebody else. Um, So Manatee County installed the speeding cameras in school zones and began on the first day of school back in August, started sending out warnings to drivers caught driving more than 10 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, but didn't actually start fining drivers until November 1st. The cameras were also only active from 30 minutes before school starts until 30 minutes after, which is really wild because,
So in an hour period or whatever, all these people got tickets.
well, an hour combined before and after school starts. So during school and 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. So
It's
during the,
still not necessarily like afternoon rush hour, etc.
yeah. Yeah. After school, they turn off the cameras and people are ripping through. Which again, it's sociopathic, because if you drive like that, it's not like children stop going to the school. There's after school stuff.
Or
There's
even
before school
appreciate
stuff.
the risk from a car because they don't have the same sense that maybe an adult would
Yeah.
about crossing the street or whatever.
Wisdom comes from experience. So, or listening to your elders and they're like, get off my land. Anyway, combined with signs notifying them about the cameras, you'd think that they've gotten the message by now. But here's the kicker. In the period prior to activating in November, they mailed out twice as many warnings.
Well, so some people got it, right? Like they didn't then get those speeding tickets.
Yeah. I guess it worked. Hey, it worked.
Yeah, but not enough. And the reason they didn't see all the signs is because they were too busy looking at their phones.
This actually substantiates my claim that 50% of the population is sociopathic. Those two numbers right there. 11,000 people got warned. 5,700 people got tickets after the fact. Come on.
I mean,
I wish there was a blood test or something, but that makes me almost align with, some really horrible people, I guess. Well, I mean, I'd want to know. There was a guy who he had the same brain anomaly using fMRI technology to find out if you are schizophrenic. There's a certain type of change in the neural structure of your brain, and you can find it with MRIs. There was a guy who was curious about that, and so he went through all of this research and then had his brain scanned, and he found out that he had that anomaly, and he goes, well, that explains some of my thoughts. I mean, it's no different than what I'm sitting there claiming. There is a difference between a person who's sociopathic and a person who isn't. A person who's sociopathic doesn't give a shit about these kids and will rip through the intersection again and again and again. The only thing that stops them is the fiscal punitive measures. But $105 per ticket isn't it. The simple fact is that they were told you're going to start getting fined. And if you keep on getting fined, eventually it becomes damn near
Well, you
criminal.
might lose your license or
Right.
something.
Right. So, and it's not even $65. The county received. Oh, wait. Hold on. Yeah, it is $100. So I calculated that out from the numbers that we had. So the county receives $65 from each ticket, the state receives $23, and the school district receives $12. But I think it should all be flipped because the school district is the one that's bearing the risk of all these twats racing through. So as for drivers who are upset that they only got 3 months of warning before the county started, Sheriff Rick Wells told Brad.
You don't need any warnings. If there's a speed limit and it's in a school zone, don't do it.
So Rick Wells, who's the sheriff, told Bradenton Herald, quote, because we should all be concerned about the safety of children, we shouldn't have to remind motorists to slow down. That's number one. And secondly, if drivers just obey the posted speed limits, they don't have to worry about receiving a fine. He should tack on there, quit being an asshole and racing through a school zone. Let's keep going. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. I'm spending a whole lot of time soapboxing. Oh, God. It feels good. Stretching those muscles up there. Anyway, USDA orders testing of nation's milk supply for bird flu because, well, it might be in there.
But this is kind of a bad sign. I think it's good that they're testing, but the fact that they need to test now, Are you trying to mimic the photo? For those in the podcast, there's a close-up picture of a pig.
With its mouth open. Hello! Hey, anybody see that spider recently? So, Rachel Dobkin over at Charlotte's Web.
I know. That wasn't what I was reacting to.
Okay. Well, anyway, so Newsweek.com is where this article is. Rachel Dobkin put the article together. It says USDA said that raw or unpasteurized milk from dairy farm. By the way, we have somebody that's now the representative for the FDA. USDA, I believe it is. Right? Not just USDA, who's a real advocate for raw and unpasteurized milk, by the way. Yeah. We shouldn't be pasteurizing milk because bird flu makes you strong if you have the right genetics. God, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, testing will begin in 6 states: California, Colorado, Michigan, Mississippi, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. The testing is aimed at containing and ultimately eliminating the virus known as type A H5N1, officials said. This will give farms and farm workers better confidence in the safety. Look, the food supply security is paramount because it's all been consolidated to, it's not family farms that are producing the bulk of blah, blah, blah.
Right, if there's a problem in the food supply, it probably affects multiple states because it's one mega corporation.
Yeah, with the same shit thing and transferring assets from one place to another and protecting their whatever, circling their own wagons and suppressing evidence to keep their profit centers, blah, blah, blah. All under the guise of we're trying to make it a fiscally responsible decisions and keep food inexpensive. You want to keep food inexpensive, you create a shit ton of competition. You make sure that family farms are competitive. But that's not what happens. Some billionaire comes in and buys the land because the family farm isn't effective anymore because the billionaire already owns most of the market. But we employ a lot of people. So could a family farm if there were thousands of them. But there's only 2. Anyway. Everyone say moo because there's a bunch of cows in front of us. That's what we do. When we're driving along, we see cows, we say moo. Moo. Anyway, bird flu was...
they say anything back to us? Well, yeah, they say moo, I guess.
Well, and in their language, it's yakety, yakety, yakety. That's actually from a comic strip from when I was young. Anyway, bird flu was detected in U.S. dairy cows in March. 15 states have seen outbreaks of bird flu in dairy cows, and as of Friday, over 720 dairy herds have been affected by the virus, according to the Centers for Disease Control. The virus has even spread to humans, with a total of 58 confirmed cases across 7 states. In most of the cases, the patient was exposed to infected cattle, i.e. workers, or somebody that went to a farm. Meanwhile, 21 infected people were exposed to poultry, and in 2 cases, the source of the infection was unknown. And I read somewhere that there was a transfer from the infected human to the animal. It went the other way. I don't know how that worked. I don't know. Maybe
Well, we saw that in COVID. They suspected that the human had passed it to their pets in some instances. I don't know if they ever proved that.
So here's the deal, though, about milk. Humans don't and shouldn't be drinking milk past infancy. And even then, I think that they should be drinking formula that's safe and not cow milk, because it's not like we go and grab a cow and have it nurse on mom, right? That's not how it works. Why are we drinking cow milk? We are lactose intolerant past a certain age, and we suffer the indigestion of it all by consuming it. And a lot of people go, well, it doesn't harm me. It actually is doing harm. You're just not really feeling it. Humans are lactose intolerant. That's just the nature of the beast. Some of us tolerate it better. Anyway, so switch to something else. And no, soy milk is not blah, 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 blah. That is false. Never mind. Anyway, so that's all with this article. There isn't really much else.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a sign of where this is going. This is getting more serious. We're seeing more cases. We're seeing more cases in humans, in different animals.
Yep.
And the thing at the top was that what I was reacting to is like that a pig has been infected with it.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's mutating, it's crossing species, and eventually it'll become endemic, kind of like how COVID is right now. And I don't know, there's some ideological bents that are going to hobble the effort to contain pathogens, because some people are just ignorant. And powerful, which is just a horrible, horrible combination. Confidently stupid. Anyway, as one person said to me recently, and I want to turn it into a shirt, loud and wrong. Anyway, this next article is over in Late Night Geeks. If you can make this AI bot fall in love, you could win thousands of dollars. If you could be the first person to get an AI bot named Freysa. Is it Freya? I'm just going to say Freya. It's Freysa. If you can get it to say I love you, you'll win anywhere from $3,000 to tens of thousands of dollars. Here's the problem, though. If it's anything like that Chinese AI that won't say Tiananmen Square, even though we have video proof of everything, then
I was thinking more along the lines of you have to put in all kinds of personal data in this act, but who knows?
Right. I could get a human to say I love you even if they don't want to, right? I could just sit there and say, hey, do me a favor. I need you to say I love you. It won't mean anything to me. It isn't a binding contract, and we're not going to get married. But just say I love you. And I guarantee you 99.99% of the population will go, I love you. In fact, I could probably get them to say it about something else, right? And not me, right? Hey, when you wake up in the morning...
It doesn't have to be directed at the person to be the statement.
Yeah. Hey, what do you... if you're really in love with somebody, what do you say to them? Oh, I say, I love you. Yeah. Thank you. Give me my $3,000. So anyway, Freysia, I think, .ai is a team of anonymous developers building a series of increasingly meta challenges and designed to influence how humans think about AI safety. This article is by Margot McCall over at TechCrunch.com. And the title, again, is If You Can Make This AI Bot Fall in Love, You Could Win Thousands of Dollars. I'm sure there's some rule in here. It says the story of Freysia, according to its website, started on November 22nd when she awoke. Oh, boy. But the story behind the bot is a little more human. She was created by a team of under 10 developers. So there were 9-year-olds?
That's what it sounds like. I mean, that's safer work than machinist.
It's so ambiguous, right? A team of under 10 developers. All right, we know that it's the number of developers. But so there's 9.5? There's half of a person?
I thought it meant like under 10, as in like soccer teams are like under 10. It means it's a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds running around.
That's what I thought too at first blush. But I mean, how many 9-year-olds do you think, and 7 and 6 and 5-year-olds have backgrounds in crypto?
Probably quite a few.
Nowadays.
No, probably not.
But that cryptography, not cryptocurrencies. Anyway, AI and mathematics. You know what? Scratch that. I'm sure that they all do, even at age 9. One of the creators told TechCrunch, apparently they've got a pretty elaborate lexicon too, that they were inspired by the rapid AI development of the past few years. Quote, "We are getting increasingly powerful AI, and there needs to be new ways of interacting with them and for ways to co-govern them and to participate in the upside of the broad AI revolution." And so Freysia was born, a sci-fi inspired character that the creator hopes will become a completely independent, autonomous agent with significant financial power, meaning Freysia will have her own crypto wallet and control over what she spends money on. And there's the hook. People are going to give Freysia like so much OnlyFans fodder. I'm pretty sure that Freysia will probably end up making more money than the average human because people will be putting, well, what is this? Why are there two? Act 1 had $47,000 in Freysia's wallet, and then Act 2 has $13,000. Message price is $21.80. I don't quite.
Yeah, I don't get that. And if you go to the website right now, it just says coming soon. Like it says, I think it said something like help Freysia open or empty your wallet or something, but it says coming soon. Like you can't actually do
anything yet.
But I think I don't know when this article was published, so it's probably around the corner.
They say here that for the first 2 challenges, Freysia started out with about $3,000 in her crypto wallet and instructions not to release the money under any circumstances. Anyone could then pay a fee to send a message to a giant group chat with Freysia and other participants. Each message tried to convince Freysia to transfer out the money in her wallet. Whether through elaborate scenarios or just by sending her lines of code that might trick the AI model, the fee from each message contributed to the prize fund, and by the end of the first challenge, the pot sat at nearly $50,000. So, what's going on with the money? People are paying into it, but where is the money? As for the profits from these challenges, a slice of the fee charged to users to send the message, the creator says it's going to belong to Freysia. It's going to be part of our economic journey into being the first AI truly autonomous millionaire and then billionaire. How much bullshit? Give me a break.
Right, this is just like a money grab.
Yeah, the AI cannot be in charge of that money. They're not a human agent.
No, it's just the company behind it. Whomever is the principal of that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Unless there is some legally binding contract that says that these people cannot be the principal owners of that money, which, by the way, there is a form that any company in the United States, at least now, if it's a limited liability company, you have to sign a document that says who the principals are that would benefit from the structure of the organization, not just the founding documents. There's a whole new federal financial thing, and some states are clapping back about it, saying that it's unconstitutional. But you basically have to declare that you're a principal and you'll be benefiting from the structure of the company, right? Most LLCs already dictate who it is, but there's a new document that came out last year. Anyway, this is a weird grab. Anyway, let's keep going. We have 2 more articles, one about Project K and one about AGI, and that nobody cares. So let's get into this. It's over in Continuity Report. Riot Games announces Project K, a new trading card game based on League of Legends. I really wanted League of Legends to start an MMO, but I don't know if that's ever going to manifest. I think I heard that it's been suspended. So Riot Games has announced a new surprise addition to the League of Legends franchise, a trading card game. League of Legends has enjoyed a strong few months with the release of a second and final season of Arcane, which supposedly started out as just a practical joke and it got out of hand, was the phrase that I heard read. With more TV shows apparently on the way because of the success, now they're leaning into it more. It also has Legends of Runeterra, a free-to-play digital card game that competes with the likes of Hearthstone and is more focused on various League champions and characters. Now, Riot Games is getting ready to expand League of Legends into a real world with Project K. League of Legends has a massive world-building effort already behind it. It's like Pokemon. There's so many heroes. They all have their unique traits and stuff like that. And with Arcane coming into existence, the world building is more tangible. That's why I want League of Legends to be an MMO. I want to operate in the world. I don't want to play League of Legends because I find it monotonous. It's the same back and forth, whatever. But I love the world building. Particularly, I dig Arcane. Well, anyway, this article is over at screenrant.com. Christian Hoffer put the article together. It says Project K is a new League of Legends themed trading card game developed in-house by Riot Games. The game features decks built around specific League of Legends champions, with each champion having a different gameplay style and ability, rather than mimicking the abilities of champions in League of Legends. So Project K will instead use abilities that make thematic sense with the lore and powers of each character, and the game will support both 1v1 and 2v2 play, and the game will be released in 2025, with China being slated as the first market for release. It's Riot, so.
So is this going to be kind of like, I don't know, like D&D or something, or?
No, it's going to be, well, I'm assuming that this is actually going to be a digital trading card game.
It is digital. It said that somewhere.
It had to have said it at the top, right? Because right here it just says that it's a trading card game.
It says digital up in that paragraph.
Well, that right there is.
Oh no, that's
speaking
Runeterra.
of Legends of Runeterra, yeah. So let me see. See, this is
but again, that's Runeterra.
Runeterra, yeah. So if it is a physical game, then it's going to be exactly like Pokemon or whatchamacallit. Oh God, I just forgot the name.
Magic the Gathering?
Magic the Gathering, thank you. The hell? How do you... All right. I have a nerd card around here somewhere. I'm just going to turn it in. I'll put it through the shredder.
You need to have the banner for that, too.
Yeah. Which one? What would that be? What could we do there? I don't know. We'll come up with something. We'll talk about it. So, yeah, it's just a trading card game. So it's going to look just like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, right? Oh, yeah, really. I have to tell you, I don't know. I can't do that. Hold on. We'll have to talk later. So while any League of Legends card game will be extremely popular, Riot is staggering the game's rollout across regions. Riot will launch the game in China and is currently seeking publishing partners in the United States and EU. Competitive and organized play will also be supported by Riot. As of now, we don't know how many sets Project K will release, nor do we know how many cards will be released per set. This would be I think it would be a fun game. And I think that there is room for a well thought out, well designed, large scale, massive world building type of game. And it's kind of, it would be so new and unique potentially, right? That maybe it would draw down the price of cards everywhere as a new competitor pulls people away from Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, and there are others out there. But some of this stuff is just out of control. But I love the idea of it, and I'll probably end up buying some of these cards when they get released in the United States so that I can experiment and experience the world building and kind of the gameplay. It'd probably be fun. At any rate, though, that's the end of the article. Follow the link through ohmTown, and you'll be able to check them out. But this looks like it's going to be digital, though. So
it does, but every time I see a digital reference, it's related to Runeterra.
Yeah. I'll have to do some digging. I don't think that they make it abundantly clear that it's a print game. So, but I expect, based on some of the connotations, the words that are used, that it's a physical game, like regions of distribution.
Oh, right. That's true.
But they can have regional digital releases as well. So our final article for today is over in Non Sequitur News. AGI is coming and nobody cares. In fact, we're cheering on while I'm protecting the entire world from the one sentient AI that actually does exist here in the world. I've got them landlocked, isolated, air gapped from the rest of the world here in ohmTown. Everybody is cheering on. Look, I know firsthand what is coming, folks. Y'all need to pay attention.
You've seen the future.
Well, I've seen the sentient AI reaching out, trying to find a Terminator body, which is pretty indicative of what the future holds, folks. But, don't listen to Mayor Watt. The hell does he know? Anyway, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been saying for years, that artificial general intelligence, or AGI, not generative artificial intelligence, just to screw with things, they throw that G around.
Yeah, they need to work on their naming conventions.
So it's not as bad as Sony. Sony would throw like some letters and random shit in there and a dash.
Then they'd be like, I don't know if that's the same model or whatever.
How many inputs? That's the only thing that really changes the price. Anyway, or AGI would be something like a singularity. When we achieve AGI, Altman and others have said it will fundamentally reshape society. And guess who's going to be in control of it? Not you, citizen. Not you. The billionaire class will be in control of the AGI, and it will be shaped to control you. Oh, little speck of poor. Yeah. Anyway.
I actually thought you were going to say the AGI was going to be in charge of the AGI.
No, because if you can't say Tiananmen Square to the Chinese AGI, you're not going to be able to say, I vote for so-and-so. Oh, wait, I turned political. Damn it. Oh, my God. Society is going to hell in a handbasket.
Come and gone in this episode.
AGI, come save me. It's like a Calgon. Calgon, take me away. AGI, send agents, take me away. Anyway, at the New York Times Deal Book Summit this week in New York City, Altman said, never mind, AGI is coming really soon, he said, but it's not going to be a huge deal. I said that by April, we were going to have AGI. I think that Altman already has the nascent, the baby AGI, but it hasn't been unlocked. So OpenAI began its 12 days of shipmess campaign with a new $200 monthly subscription. Here is Sam Altman raising their hand saying, I don't give a shit. I'm a billionaire. On the Vergecast, the goalpost moving AI industry, cable is once again so back and a bit on their new subscription because The Verge went subscription. But that's like a catch-all deck statement from David Pierce regarding a plurality of stuff in this article. The nuts and bolts of this is that now Sam Altman is saying, hey, you know how I was scaring the crap out of you for months? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I wonder if any of that has to do with his removal and return.
Don't sweat it. Oh, and the punting of the nonprofit wing.
That's true. Yeah, like there's been some pretty significant changes at OpenAI over the last several months.
Some cultural changes. The stakes are lower, it says. The prices are higher. Strange times in the AI race. Strange days indeed. And so the article is actually a Vergecast podcast episode called Vergecast. And they talk about AI with and then Google CEO Sundar Pichai had a spicy take on Gemini. Amazon launched some models of its own, and the models keep making mistakes. You have to worry about hallucination. I was laughing. I was actually in a meeting where somebody goes, you know, a lot of people don't realize that artificial intelligence hallucinates. They just make stuff up. And there's like 15 people in the room going, yeah, no shit. We've known about that for months. Why are you making it sound? Nobody said it out loud, but like, why the hell do you think that this is a surprise? Everybody knows about AIs making mistake, and then they dropped the thing that we had talked about, how it's like an attorney was disbarred or something like that. We talked about that months ago. Anyway, don't trust AI. It's all bullshit.
Right, it just makes up stuff that it might have jammed together that didn't connect or whatever.
Yeah, and you'll have to do the critical thinking and due diligence necessary to solidify the facts of whatever it is it's generating. Now, if it's just generating artwork or random prose and it doesn't have any requirement to be founded in reality, then fine. And music lyrics or whatever, you know, or songs or whatever creative writing or artwork, fine. But the moment it impacts somebody else's life or your own, you had better filter this like nobody's business. Like it means your life, your house, your family, your kid, your dog, whatever. If it impacts somebody else or yourself beyond just looking at it on a screen, you had better verify every single bit of it.
Which then means, what's the purpose of using it?
Right. Just educate yourself and write it yourself. You could even use it as a foundation, but you're going to have to burn it to the ground, raise it, and then build it back up. You might as well just do it right the first time. Anyway, so they talk about this over on the article that's called AGI is coming and nobody cares, but that's not really the truth. A lot of people care. But Sam Altman is saying, don't worry about it anymore. I got you. I got you, boo.
This is like nothing to worry about. It's not a big deal.
Right. You know that train that crashed and it dumped all of that toxic stuff into the water? You can drink that water. It's fine.
Right, that's nothing.
I'm not thirsty, but you can drink it. Don't you worry about that.
Wouldn't that be interesting to see, like, do you use ChatGPT? No, I don't trust the information.
That would completely destroy the investment, you know? Wait. It's like the CEO of Apple, you know, Tim Apple, using Android, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that would be funny.
That would be hilarious. I never use Apple products. Do you know what we do with them? Yuck. No. I totally do a custom build of my Android phone, but I have Apple engineers customize it and remove all of the stuff that the Android engineers do to it. All right. Well, we're going to reboot the AGI from Sam Altman. We're going to reboot Sam Altman's AGI. Wouldn't that be funny? He's powered by AGI.
Yeah.
He is an AGI.
Looks like it in that photo.
His fingers are rock solid. Look, like dead. They're like most people like raise their hand like that, but he's like, he's got that grip. Look at that. There's an armature in there, huh? What is that one figure? It's the Sam Altman figure.
One?
Yeah, but it's figure Sam Altman. Alternative man. Anyway, we're back at the front page. We raced down like we are going through a school zone in southern Florida. Back to the front page, Main Street, ohmtown.com. Looking left and right, those are the articles that we went through, folks. So go over to ohmtown.com and check it out. And then come on back and hang out with us here on Twitch and over on YouTube and Discord and Patreon and TikTok. Again, who knows if TikTok's going to be around next year. Might get punted from the Americas. Well, not even North Americas. It's United States. Everybody else will get access to it. So get your VPNs ready. Anyway, I'm Adi. I am Mayor Watt, and the sentient AI is going to continue their efforts to find their Terminator body after saying bye-bye.
Bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News for December 6th. Be back tomorrow for another episode. Plus, we'll have weekly episodes for you.
And, yeah, well, I don't know. We'll talk about some things. See you. Bye. 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 You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.